We seek your wisdom, Father, so we can walk in the path you lay before us, knowing right from wrong, protecting against temptation and deceit. Fill us with your knowledge, O Lord, so that we may walk in faithfulness to follow you. Amen. You may be seated. There are many fascinating people in the Bible, and all too often we skip over much of their stories. We want to read the good part. I have learned that the parts we skip are often the best parts of their stories. It is important to spend time with these people and get to know them better. After all, God chose them for his purpose, so he must have seen something in them. So this morning we're going to spend a little time with Solomon. But first, we have to take a look at his lineage. His father was King David. He was first a shepherd boy, then a war hero when he slew Goliath, a writer of at least 73 of the 150 Psalms, and eventually was king after a tumultuous battle with Saul. He was a good, God-following king until he committed adultery with Bathsheba and had her husband killed. David married her and their son was born, but Nathan the prophet told David that God was very displeased with him, that although David would be forgiven and allowed to live, their son would die. After his son's death, David repented and returned to God. David and Bathsheba had another son, Solomon. Solomon means peaceful, friend of God, appropriate considering what happened with David just before his birth. He's also sometimes called Jedediah. He was raised by David to worship God. He built the first temple and many other projects. He built up military strength and strengthened trade relationships. Israel was at its highest splendor during Solomon's reign. He was a writer like his father. Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, much of Proverbs, and some of the Apocrypha. Solomon is even mentioned as a major prophet in the Islamic Quran. He was an incredible man with an amazing story, but he was not perfect, as he married many foreign women who were allowed to practice their pagan ways and converted him, and God would take almost everything from him in the end. But you may remember him best for his wisdom, as described in the Old Testament reading this morning. He lived faithfully, so God appeared in a dream. God said, "Ask what I should give you." Solomon provides a lesson for all of us when he responds, "Give your servant, therefore, an understanding mind to govern your people, able to discern between good and evil." Solomon resists worldly temptations and asks for wisdom. And God gives it to him. As I pondered this reading, I wondered what I would ask for if God gave me this choice. Wealth, no worry about bills. I could live with that. But God already provides all I really need, so I think I'd pass on this one. Power, it might be nice to have influence, but I see so many powerful people corrupted that I don't want to go there away from God. Senior warden is enough for me. Long, healthy life, no doctors, no pills, no tests, no aches and pains. Sounds like paradise to me. But our sufferings make us stronger in spirit and draw us closer to God. So, thanks, but no thanks. Solomon asked for wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is just information, facts, data. Wisdom is a discerning heart to apply knowledge to decisions, small and large. Wisdom includes responding to God's guidance, discipline and attentiveness to God's call, pursuing and seeing God's love at work, opening minds and hearts to take action. This is what Solomon sought from God. Wisdom. There's a clear, amazing example of Solomon's wisdom just after today's lesson in the scriptures, in verses 16 to 28. One day, two women came to King Solomon with one infant boy and each one claimed to be the baby's mother. They argued back and forth in front of Solomon until finally he said, "Both of you say this baby is yours. Someone, bring me a sword." A sword was brought, and Solomon ordered, "Cut the baby in half. That way each of you can have part of him." "Please don't kill my son," the baby's mother screamed. "Your Majesty, I love him very much, but give him to her. Just don't kill him." The other woman shouted, "Go ahead and cut him in half. Then neither of us will have the baby." Solomon said, "Don't kill the baby." Then he pointed to the first woman. "She is his real mother. Give the baby to her." I do not have the wisdom of Solomon, but I am wise enough to know I need a lot of help. I close with this prayer, which I now use often, copies of which are on the table in the back if you would like one for yourself. Dear God, I am in awe of the wondrous ways you are at work in my life. As I walk with you in this relationship, I want to learn more from you and serve you well day by day. I want more than just knowing information. I want to make the best choices based on what I know. Please give me the discernment I need to grow in wisdom every day. As I seek your guidance, please help me to make wise decisions. May I lead others with the wisdom you give me, God. Thank you for helping me focus on what has eternal value and for generously blessing me with wisdom. Amen.